Hi, my name is Emily Anderson, and we're here at North Central University, and this is my story. So I grew up in a Christian home, and my parents have known the Lord for, I don't know, as long as I know anyway, and that was a good thing. I loved going to church when I was a kid. It was a super huge part of my life, but my home life and my relationships with my parents and with my friends didn't necessarily reflect that. In my home, there was not a lot of room for conversation about faith, even though my parents were Christians. And so most of the conversation that I had about the Lord happened at church with pastors and friends, but I didn't go to a church corner, and so I didn't have much of an opportunity to talk about faith. My story for pretty much the entire span of my life up till around my freshman year of high school. We started at a non-denominational church and left there when I was in third grade, and then went to an Assemblies of God church in Apple Valley, and so I grew up there. So I guess starting my freshman year of high school, I started to get more involved in my youth group, and started to make friends, and started to learn more of a vocabulary about how to talk about the Lord. And so I got to have better conversations and got to learn more about the Lord, and I had knowledge in my head about the Bible and about these stories that we hear in church, but not a lot of that transferred to my heart, my home life. There wasn't a lot of room for emotional or spiritual vulnerability, and so when I was in high school, I had friends, but I wasn't open with them. I didn't talk about what I was feeling or what I needed or anything of that matter. And so the same was kind of true in my relationship with God. So there wasn't a lot of room, I didn't feel for me to be needy or vulnerable with God. I didn't really have a relationship. My beliefs were very set, but the way that I experienced God, I guess, wasn't real or true or genuine, I guess. That transformation in how I experienced God didn't really happen until it was the summer after my junior year of high school. I went on a mission trip to Argentina with my youth group. We went there, and just in a random kind of quiet time with the Lord, I felt He was calling me here to North Central, and that was the first time that I ever really heard God speak. I didn't really understand it at first, but after processing that, I realized this is what God is guiding me to do or leading me to do. So that was weird. It was strange, and I said, I didn't understand it. After I felt God spoke that into my life, I was okay, I don't want to do that, but after just a lot of mentorship and discipleship, I decided to step out in that. It was the first step of obedience that I had ever really taken. 2 weeks after that time in Argentina, I went to a camp in Alexandria and felt the Lord was then again guiding me into ministry and into missions. And so that was even scarier than the Lord telling me about North Central. I don't know, those two things were my first real steps of obedience. And so North Central was the only school I applied to, and I got here, and it's been incredible since. It has not always been easy, but this is the place that I have really truly first experienced community and began to understand what true community is. God has opened doors and friendships for me to just be true and vulnerable, and the same can be said about my relationship with God. It's been a strange but incredible transformation to be able to talk to the Lord about how I'm doing and how I'm honestly feeling. April of last year, so 2017, I showed up at Corner. Literally don't even remember how I got there or who I was with. But I remember leaving and loving it and being so genuinely excited about going to church the next week, because one of those things that I was lacking so much in growing up was just the ability to have conversation with people and just talk about life and be vulnerable. And that was something that Corner offered, and I was so excited about that. And so I felt like it was a place that I could truly make connections, and I have loved being at Corner and getting involved in serving there and just being a part of the church. So moving forward, I am here at North Central. I'm a senior, and so I have the opportunity this summer to spend 3 months in Uganda. So I will be doing field work for the first month and then my internship for the second 2 months. And I am so excited about being able to, again, just take like more steps of obedience. And I know that it will be such a growing experience. And part of the reason I wanted to do this story is also to ask for prayer. I know that being a part of the church means stepping out and asking when we're in need. And I am in need of a lot of prayer over this trip and over my time in Uganda. So I would love to extend that invitation to you guys, to the church, to pray for me and my time there and the relationships that I'll get to build with nationals and all of the learning that I'll get to do in preparation for eventually, hopefully, going out for a lifetime into the nations, whatever that ends up looking like for me. So thank you guys for being the church. So I wanted to share my story because after being at Corner for the last year, I have kind of seen everyone else do this and feel like this is one of the ways that at Corner and as a part of the community, we get to be a part of the church and get to be a part of encouraging one another through our testimonies, as well as just stepping out and being vulnerable and sharing with other people about who we are and why we are who we are.